Here is the list of 10 best features available on Redmi Note 14 Pro Plus 5G. Some of these features that I'm about to mention are also available on other devices, of course, but I still find them one of the best ones available on this device. And of course, you still may already know about them, and some of them can be obvious to you, but I still think it is worth mentioning them. So let's get right into it. And first we're gonna start with the security app, which is a great example of something that is available on other devices, whether it is Redmi, Poco, or Xiaomi. Pretty much all of these now have this app, but it's still really great. I cannot tell you enough of that. Because it provides so much. For instance, we can optimize our device with just a single button, and it goes through the system security, through the cache files and other security options that checks all the apps that we have installed on our device. And then we also have some suggestions that we can use in order to improve the security of our device, and not only that. Besides that, we have the cleaner where we can quickly check all, once again, cache files, but also memory, so we can free up some RAM. We have the security scan, we have the battery shortcut to the battery settings. We can boost the speed of our device, so if you feel like the device is running slow, you can use this option in order to find out what can be closed or what can be improved. So just simply press boost speed, and there we go, the cache of the RAM is being removed. There we go. Besides that, we can also manage apps over here and perform a deep clean of files that are considered junk. We also have some common features here as well. So not only those buttons are here, but if you swipe all the way down, you will also open the toolbox where we can find the game turbo, second space, which is also great. And I'm gonna mention that in a second. But we can also hide apps, find the app lock, and so on and so forth. We can also duplicate apps from here and much more. But I will also want to talk a little bit more about the second space, because if you go over here, you can create a designated screen lock for another space. Now this space can, or is actually separate from everything that you have in the main one, and you can secure your data and create some sort of private space where you have access to by entering a different password in the lock screen. So if we turn it on, then we will need to provide the password that we will use in order to access that second space. So let's wait a couple of seconds for this to set up. And there we go, we have created second space successfully. We can press continue, and then we can either use a password or actually a shortcut. And this depends on our preferences. I'm gonna stick with a password, so I'm gonna press continue. Now we need to set the password for the second space. So my first pattern, the main one that I use in order to unlock my device, is something like this. And I can use something else, like for instance something like this. Oh, first we need to, the first space password, so my bad. First we need to enter the current password that we have. Let's try again. There we go, and now we set up the second space password. So let's do something like this, and then once again, and then let's confirm. And there we go. And we can also set up the fingerprint, so we can set now in order to do this, or we can just skip this. I'm gonna skip this for now, but of course if you wish to, you can set up the fingerprint as well. And here we can see that we are in the second space. Bunch of apps are gone, and the settings are also pretty much set to default because this is like a separate account. So we can set up different apps and data over here. We can simply press switch in order to go back to the main space, to the first one. And there you go, as you can see, we are now back in the toolbox. So now if I lock my device, and if I go to the lock screen, I can enter my main password in order to open my first page, first screen, or I can enter another password and open the second space instead. So if you value privacy and if you wish to hide pretty much a different account on your phone, then in that case, second space might be really useful. Alright, but let's get back to our first space and let's talk about more features. So now if you go to the settings, And here, if we go to home screen and open system navigation, if you use buttons for navigation like I do over here, then you can also go to button shortcuts and you can create a bunch of different shortcuts which you can use with different buttons. So for instance, we can assign like a take a screenshot option for power plus home, or we can assign a different button for launching the digital assistant, and so on and so forth. So really convenient tool for someone who uses buttons at the bottom of the screen. Another thing that I want to talk about is in wallpaper and personalization, because over here we will find notification effects where we have these glowing sides, which can be set to blue or red or something like this, so some starlights. And what it does is it turns on, so these sides are lit up every time you receive a notification when the device is locked. So when the device is off, well, not off, the screen is locked, then you can recognize that you received a notification by this pulse. This is also known as edge lighting, and I think it is a pretty cool feature to have enabled. Besides that, in wallpaper and personalization, we can go to the lock style, and there is also something that I find really cool, and that is the option to hide the text, including the date and time, behind an object that is on the lock screen or subject. So if you try to customize your wallpaper, and if the device detects that there is an object or a person or something similar to that on the photo, then you can enable this depth option that allows you to hide the text, as you can see, which is really cool. We can create a bunch of different wallpapers, and they all can look pretty cool, and it opens some creativity. Of course, we also have a bunch of different presets, so you can use them as well. For instance, over here in magazine, we have a bunch of different examples where we have the option to hide the text behind an object or a person. All right, this time I'm gonna exit back to the settings, and we're gonna go to AI services, because if you like AI features, then you will be happy to hear that there is a bunch of them. For instance, in the Notes app, we have the AI summary and AI layout, as well as AI proofreading and translations. In Gallery, we have image expansion and the erase tool that allows you to erase objects from the photo, as well as AI film. In the Recorder, we have the speech-to-text transcription. We have the speaker recognition, summary generation, and translation. So if you make voice recordings, some voice memos, then they can be converted into a text, which is really convenient if you want to make notes with your voice. We also have the AI subtitles tool that allows you to create real-time transcriptions, as well as translations. We have the AI interpreter that allows you to translate conversations in real time during face-to-face interactions, phone calls, or meetings. And we also have Circle to Search, which allows you to press and hold the home button in order to use this feature. Then you can circle an element on the screen, and then you will get the search results in Google of that element. So really cool stuff. We can also go to additional settings, and here's also a bunch of different things that we can do. For instance, if you go to gesture shortcuts, you will find the option to turn on the flashlight or torch with double press of the power button. Now I have this already enabled, so if I double press that button, as you can see, I can toggle the flashlight. I really value this option because sometimes I am in a situation where I need to quickly turn on or turn off the flashlight, and this is something that I really like because it allows me to have that quick access to the torch. Besides that, we also have the backtap gestures, which is another way to create fun shortcuts to different tools. As you can see over here, we have some of these options that can also be found in the button shortcuts that I had shown you before. But this time we can just backtap the device, and we can open or do certain actions. We can open an app or do something, right? And let's go back to additional settings. Another thing worth mentioning is the heart rate. So this is also something that can be found on other Redmi and Xiaomi devices and similar devices. By using the fingerprint scanner, we can scan our BPM. I'm not sure how accurate this is, probably not as much as smartwatches, definitely not, but it is still a really good tool and pretty fun one. Perhaps in the future it will work somehow even better, but still it is really impressive to implement such a thing with just, and we can use it just with a fingerprint sensor. Alright, I think I have mentioned everything in the settings that I want to talk about. And I want to also mention a few things that can be found in the camera as well, because if you're a fan of the camera, if you tend to capture photos a lot, take photos a lot, then you'll be happy to hear, of course, that we have 200 megapixels camera. Now, this is obvious because, well, we can even find it on the box, but essentially, yeah, the 200 megapixel mode is really easy to access. It is added by default, and with a single switch, we can use the highest resolution possible. Now, if you tend to use the Pro mode, then you don't have to worry about it, that you will use less megapixels or something, because as long as you use the wide lenses, then you can still enable Ultra HD option, which is the 200 megapixels camera. So still pretty good stuff, and especially with the Pro mode, you can capture beautiful photos. And in addition to that, in the camera, we can also find a teleprompter in the video mode. So this is especially useful for those who like to record vlogs or some sort of videos with a script by using your phone. Now, this might be especially helpful, like I said, if you use those scripts. So if you have a bunch of text that you need to memorize, or if you need to carry a paper with your script or something, then you don't have to do that anymore with this device, because you have this teleprompter, which allows you to import a text or just write your own text over here. And then when you are recording a video, you can just press play and the teleprompter will scroll further. You can also adjust the size of the text and the speed. So by doing so, like I said, you can just read whatever you have on the screen. Of course, you can still adjust the size and the position of the teleprompter, but a really great tool it is. And that is pretty much it. I hope you found this video helpful. If you feel like I forgot to mention something, another great feature that wasn't mentioned in this video, then please let me know in the comments, share it with others so everyone can benefit from using this device. Thanks for watching, leave a like and subscribe to my channel, and see you in my next videos. Bye!